Research shows that repetitive tactile movements, like those used in knitting or kneading dough, sanding wood, blending objects in a drawing or a painting, these repetitive rhythms trigger a relaxation response in the brain that is similar to meditation. And this is not woo, my friend. This is neuroscience. That's how powerful the creative touch can be. Hello, my creative friend. Welcome to the BDI Create Today podcast. This is a podcast where we'll discover the who, what, where, when, why, and how you can be creative or have more creativity. And together, we'll explore the extraordinary impact creativity can have in your life, in your heart, mind, body, and soul. And if we haven't met yet, I am Beth Buffington, a licensed artist, digital illustration instructor, and a creative coach living just outside of the windy city of Chicago, Illinois. But mostly, I am someone who is curious about how creativity can weave its way into our lives. Now, each week, we're going to look at one or more of the sparkly facets that make up the ever-changing kaleidoscope that is creativity. Hello, my creative friend. Welcome back to another episode of Create Today with Beth Buffington. Today, we're going to talk about two things. First, I want you to focus on our lives today. We are living in a digital society these days, and almost without warning, our lives suddenly are also drowning in a tsunami of AI. And while this is happening, we are told, stay relevant. You need to know how to use AI. And creatives are told, this is going to help you create things instantly. But my friend, when you use AI, you're creating without touch. It's instant, yes. This magic creativity seems amazing. Oh, what a time saver. What a boost for productivity. But while I truly believe that AI, it's here to stay, and I do believe it has benefits to offer that provide a quantum leap for us in the way of learning and organizing and increasing productivity, I also believe that instant creation is like processed food. It's useful and quite even tasty in moderation, but don't make your full diet from it. And don't expect to find health inside it. Because while it looks enticing and seems delectable at the surface, the nourishment that it provides towards our happiness and our health, it's slim and it's fleeting. AI, as of today, is not a viable, creative way to become healthier and happier in heart, mind, body, and soul. So today, my friend, we are going to talk about a beautiful hands-on creative revival that is gaining some traction worldwide, maybe even in your own home. We're going to be talking about what you can create today with your hands. We will be looking at tactile creativity that provides actual, tangible results for your happiness and, yes, even your health. We're talking about creating handcrafts. This is the joyful, useful, calming act of creating something with your own two hands. Now, since the pandemic, you've probably already witnessed more people seem to be sewing and baking and knitting and quilting, even wood carving. And this interest isn't just about going vintage or upscaling or being swept up in following the latest trend. It's about connecting to something deeply human, something that science says is very, very good for us. So in this episode, we're going to learn why making things with our hands is important through the doing of the craft. And we're going to learn the health benefits of doing things with your hands. And I'm going to give you a list of easy handcrafts that you can create today. So let's get started and let's explore why handcrafts are having a comeback and why your brain and body and spirit might just need to step away from the trance caused by ChatGPT and digital media to create something with your two hands right now. So let's begin by looking back in history. Our great and great great grandmothers and grandfathers didn't make handcrafts to be trendy. They made things because they needed them to survive. They needed products that would have a specific function, like furniture, tools, bedding, clothing. They needed a warm quilt on freezing winter nights. They needed tools to build or repair their homes, their businesses, and their farms. They needed dishes to feed their families, and they needed clothing to stay warm and dry. But because people are people, and we love pretty things and we love unique things, the items that had to be made with this specific function in order to survive, well, they were often embellished with beautiful stitchings and carvings and patterns or paintings. So the making of these survival products became more than just a chore that had to be done in order to live another day. They also became a source for expressing creativity. And voila, the art of making handcrafts was born. And this meant that quilts weren't made just for warmth. They also became visual stories that were passed down from generation to generation that created memories and meaning to families. Knitted socks, sweaters, shawls, or mittens were made with special care using intricate patterns and embroidery, and they were worn with pride. Wooden toys or tools were often whittled with details that weren't necessary for the function of the product. But the artistic details that were added made these pieces personal and thus showcase the unique personality of the maker or of the person the maker gifted the product to. Products were embellished like embroidered pillowcases, crocheted doilies, homemade scented candles and soaps, sculpted breads. So the making of a family's linens and home goods, well, these just weren't chores. They also became moments of enjoyment and creative expression. The act of making something beautiful fostered pride and presence. And a lovingly made item was both a tool and a treasure, meeting a need and feeding the soul. So over time, creating beauty became as important as providing function. So adding this extra creativity to an object that needed to function, like a blanket or socks, candles, a tool, well, this provided a health benefit to the heart, mind, body, and soul. And this was intensely felt by our ancestors, but it went unseen. But throughout the ages, the creative benefits of handcrafts has not decreased. Modern science confirms what our ancestors intuitively knew, that handcrafting is deeply good for your brain. When you reserve time to make crafts, you reduce cortisol, which is the stress hormone that we hear so much about. You boost dopamine, which is the pleasure and motivation hormone. You encourage what is called a creative flow state, which improves focus, reduces anxiety, and will help you solve problems as you allow yourself this creative time to create. And you strengthen neural pathways that support memory and cognition. Oh, so much goodness. According to a 2022 study published in the Journal of Positive Psychology, people who regularly engage in creative activities report more positive emotions and increased psychological resilience. The study found that even short bursts of creativity, like knitting, drawing, or crafting, led to a measurable boost in mood, even on the following day. Researchers noticed that this consistent engagement helped build a kind of emotional buffer, making it easier to cope with stress and setbacks. And in our world today, who doesn't need to find ways to cope with stress and setbacks? So, in essence, making something with your hands, my friend, it doesn't just feel good. When you're creating consistently, it's a powerful tool for long term mental health. And research shows that repetitive tactile movements, like those used in knitting or hand stitching, kneading dough, sanding wood, blending or shading objects in a drawing or a painting, those kinds of things, well, these repetitive rhythms trigger a relaxation response in the brain that is similar to meditation. And this is not woo, my friend. This is wow. This is neuroscience. In fact, some therapists now prescribe scheduling time for a regular handcraft activity as part of treatment plans for anxiety and depression. That's how powerful the creative touch can be. Now, before we continue, let's take a break and hear a word from our sponsor. Hey there, creative friend. I'm just popping in with a sweet little $29 holiday workshop that you are going to love. You know, Christmas in July, that's the thing. And if you have ever wanted to add a little handmade touch to your holiday gift wrapping without pulling out a glue gun, my Christmas cookie gift tag workshop, it is just the thing for you. You're going to learn how to draw cozy, delicious cookies in Procreate, like yummy gingerbread people and warm, cozy mittens. And I'll show you how to turn your finished art into adorable printable gift tags for wrapping all of your holiday gifts. It's a simple, fun, and a perfect way to add charm and your unique personality to every package that you wrap this year. And here is the best part. When you create art with Procreate, you'll discover this is a modern form of handcraft, where you are creating crafts on your iPad. It brings that same healthful satisfaction of making a handcraft that is beautiful and useful with your own two hands, just with a simple extra techie twist that I will walk you through step by step. And it's only $29. So have some festive fun this summer as you prepare for the holidays. They will be here before you know it. Visit www.bdi-create.today. Click on menu in the upper right corner and choose events. Or look in the show notes for a link that will take you straight to registration. It is never too early to create today for Christmas tomorrow. Now, handcrafts, my friend, are making a huge comeback. It's been bubbling up on the proverbial back burner for years, but during the pandemic, it really heated up. Handcrafts seem to be the poster child of what to do during the pandemic lockdown. And when we finally ventured out of our homes again, many of us chose to keep these new creative pastimes. So were you one of the thousands of people who started knitting or baking sourdough bread during the pandemic? Maybe you've seen evidence of this on Pinterest or TikTok or Instagram. Maybe you've been buying craft kits that teach you how to sew or embroider or crochet. Maybe you've bought handmade items at a local market or art show. So why the resurgence? Here are a few reasons why we as a world are flocking to create things with our hands. Number one, we have digital fatigue. People are craving real world activities. Many of us are just plain tired of scrolling on our phones, idly looking at posts and videos that leave us feeling strangely empty, and quite honestly, a bit sad and depleted. Number two, we crave slower living. Many of us want to step off that productivity hamster wheel because life, it just seems to get faster and faster, right? Things that were supposed to give us more time have instead just shortened the amount of time given to complete a task or a deadline. Speeding up the completion of work just means we do more projects, which means we have to solve more problems in the same amount of time or a shorter amount of time. And we, quite frankly, are exhausted by this manic pace. So we're tired. Number three, creating a handcraft slows down time to just this moment. When we work with our hands, time slows down and we are suddenly only responsible for the next movement our hand needs to make. And there is typically no pressure to get faster with creating things by hand. So when you do a handcraft, you allow yourself to slow down and you enjoy concentrating on just the process of this hand movement and the preparation of the next. Number four, wellness trends. Handcrafting is now seen as part of self-care. As we've already indicated, we have realized the importance of the act of creating and also the importance of enjoying what we have created, either for ourselves or giving to others to bring joy to their lives. Number five, creative confidence. The more handcrafts we make, the more we trust our creative instincts and the more we trust ourselves, our choices, and our abilities. And another beautiful thing, you don't have to be an expert. Just getting your hands involved in something tangible is enough to reap the benefits handcrafts provide. The end result does not need to be museum quality, and you should not aim for perfection. Remember, your only goal is to enjoy the moment, enjoy the movement, the emotion, the relaxation that this handcrafting brings to your overall happiness in heart, mind, body, and soul. At this moment in the episode, I'm fairly confident that you understand the reason search terms like how to crochet, making homemade candles, and DIY embroidery have skyrocketed. This is a movement, not a moment. And this isn't woo, this is wow, and it's backed by science. Let's take a look at how you can benefit by incorporating handcrafting into your modern, everyday lifestyle. So let's take a look at these handcrafts and the specific health benefits they offer and how they will help you soak in some creative wellness. First, number one, let's take a look at candle making. And in this first example, we're going to take a deep look into how handcrafts overall will help activate sensory relaxation. So here's a detailed explanation of 4 areas of sensory relaxation that occurs in the crafting of candles. Number one, relaxation through scent or olfactory. So as you work, your brain responds to the calming aromas typically added to candles like lavender, vanilla, eucalyptus. And these scents, well, they can lower stress levels, they can reduce anxiety, and even support better sleep, all thanks to the way smell is connected to the limbic system, the brain's emotional center. So candles, while you're working with your hands, are also providing that olfactory benefit while you're crafting. Number two, there's relaxation through touch. So the repetitive movement of stirring warm wax, handling soft wicks, or the process of labeling smooth jars, well, it gives your hands something gentle and soothing to do. And this tactile activity grounds your nervous system and brings a sense of calm focus. It's very similar to meditation. Number three is relaxation through sight. So you're watching the wax melt and swirl as you stir in ingredients and colors, and you're seeing the transformation from liquid to solid, and you're observing the glow of a finished candle. All these things bring visual satisfaction. These small moments of beauty create a mental pause that allows your mind to relax. And this relaxation reduces the cortisol that keeps anxiety fueled. And cortisol is our body's main stress hormone. It kicks in when we're overwhelmed and anxious or stretched too thin, kind of like an internal alarm system. But when we do calming, creative tasks, our cortisol levels drop, which helps us feel more relaxed and in control. If you reduce cortisol, you reduce anxiety. Nice, huh? Number 4, relaxation through sound. Even the soft bubbling of melting wax or the quiet clink of a glass jar will add a soothing soundscape by adding to the calming rhythm of the crafting that you're creating in your process. So I recommend keeping your environment quiet, at least occasionally, while you're working with handcrafts. So often we feel we must fill our days with the noise from TV and news or music, and yes, even podcasts. While these auditory stimuli are beneficial in their own right, like listening to the latest episode of Create Today, sometimes having a peaceful environment that is filled with only the sound of the activity that you are creating, that is what your heart, mind, body, and soul craves. So now that we've explored the benefits of candle making, here are a few more wonderful options for handcrafts that you can consider and additional benefits that you will enjoy from creating with your hands. Consider knitting and crocheting. Now, this is a craft that is easy to learn. And the more you create in this area, the more you can expand your skills and the level of difficulty in the beautiful products that you can create. The actual act of repetitive knitting or crocheting movements can lower blood pressure and increase serotonin. And serotonin is one of the brain's feel good chemicals. It helps regulate our mood, our sleep, and even our appetite. Activities that bring us joy, like creating something with our hands, can naturally boost serotonin. The making of food engages all 5 senses. And this is another excellent example of sensory relaxation. Baking bread or baking in general creates comfort through those favorite scents and tastes that you remember throughout your childhood and that you have created at special occasions during your life. You can also consider sewing or quilting. This is a lovely handcraft that you can do by yourself, but quilting groups are very popular. This is a gathering of local quilters who get together to work on their individual projects in a community or to work on a communal quilt together. Like a book group, it's a great way to gather like minded friends and take advantage of the benefits that creativity will provide you through community. And as you quilt, you'll notice a boost in your ability to concentrate as your brain carefully pieces together the many shapes that it takes to create the intricate designs and patterns for a quilted masterpiece. A beautiful benefit that quilting also provides is the deep connection to cultural and family traditions. Through the choosing of the quilt pattern and your selection of fabric, you build a remembrance of history through culture and through the fabrics that represent special events or years in a person's lifetime. Another really great handcraft is pottery or clay work, providing grounding and great tactile feedback. Now, tactile feedback is the physical response that we experience through our hands as we shape and mold the materials like clay. And this cool, pliable texture that we feel in clay brings us tactile feedback. That earthy sensory interaction helps connect our brain with our body, and it's deeply satisfying. We also feel tactile feedback through all types of handcraft, like through the tug of thread in fabric, or the smooth glide of pen on paper, or a paint filled brush on canvas. That's a satisfying, grounding feeling that we absorb through touch that helps connect our brain to our body while we create. Handcrafts also encourages mindfulness. So, working with clay requires focused attention on the movements of your hands, the hands on process linked with your brain's laser focus in that moment slows the mind, it reduces stress, and it creates a calming, meditative rhythm that supports mental clarity and emotional well being. You're going to find mindfulness is part of any handcraft you choose to create because all handcrafts have that repetitive hand motion that slows down time and becomes an activity that's akin to meditation. It's wonderful. Another really wonderful way to choose to handcraft is through embroidery or cross stitch. The tiny details in this craft develops fine motor skills, and the repetitive motion of needle through fabric induces a calm, repetitive rhythm that releases that tension as your brain focuses on just this moment. Embroidery and cross stitch lets you express creativity through a visually satisfying medium that doesn't require the skill of drawing or painting, but provides the same satisfying sense of creative awe when the colorful, detailed embroidery or cross stitch project is complete. Now, this list that I've shared with you, it's just a sampling of some of the most popular handcraft possibilities. But no matter what you might choose to create, the takeaway is the same. Making something by hand helps you feel more grounded, connected, and alive. And that is how creativity will simply make you happier and healthier in heart, mind, body, and soul. Now, let's take another quick break for a word from our sponsor. The last part of this episode is brought to you by the Create.today membership, a place where creative minds like yours find consistency, community, and encouragement. So if you're looking to increase your creativity, whether it's for your health, to reach specific creative goals, or both, consider joining the Create.today membership to keep you fully immersed in all the benefits that your creativity can provide. With guided workshops, creative projects, coaching with Beth, live Q&As, guest speakers, and an uplifting community, you'll stay inspired and supported, and you'll find answers to questions along your creative journey. Are you curious? Try out the membership for 1 month, and you'll realize the importance of building your creative health as you discover real paths to reach your creative goals. Go to www.bdi-create.today and click on the green banner up at the top to try out what a creative membership means to you. Come, create today for a special 1-month price. Now, we've just uncovered the facts about the importance of making something with your hands. If your world has been tangled with breaking news, extreme weather, political polarization, unrest in the world, or you have struggles with job or with your family, or you're dealing with health concerns, maybe it's time to take a little space in your week to quiet down the noise and just create a handcraft. Make something with your hands. Create today something useful, something beautiful. And as we've realized, the hands-on creative comeback is here, and it's not just about nostalgia. It's not just today's latest trend. It's not woo. It's about reconnecting to the joy of making something. It's about making the decision to schedule the time for you to create today something with your hands. Whether you decide to knit or knead, carve or crochet, remember, it doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be made with your hands. There's a saying from a traditional proverb that says, when the hands are busy, the mind is calm. And the neuroscientist, Dr. Kelly Lambert, and author of Lifting Depression, eloquently said, crafting with your hands is one of the most powerful ways to reconnect to yourself. So think about what your hands love to make. Are you baking, sewing, knitting, gardening, whittling, drawing, sculpting? Are you throwing pottery? What are you doing? No matter what you choose to create today with your two hands, you know that my one wish for you, as always, is to stay creative, my friend.